All right, guys, so you're back here in this 2018 Chevy Silverado, and I'm going to start on the third brake light install next. Here we go. I'm going to start over here, guys, with the pillar. That's got to come off, and then we're going to loosen some weather stripping. We'll angle in towards the back seat, and then I'll move to the actual third brake camera install itself. So let me jump to the other side. So we got some 10 mils right here, guys. Get right down here in the bottom corner. Pop these guys up. Got two 10 mils right here. 1/4-inch socket, an extension, or a drill, whichever's easier for you guys if you got an impact. Pop these guys off. Pull this up. Let's get it out of our way. We're also going to pull down this weather stripping all the way around, which I'll show you here in a second. And then we're going to work on the back side, this pull handle. But this is going to allow us to run the third brake light harness and the wireless harnessing down this way. And we'll drop it right down here. You will want to get this side panel off over here. Super tight clips, guys. Real pain in the butt. Go ahead and get this out of our way. It's going to allow us full access to get behind here. I'll go ahead and point this out. So if you're doing our switcher setup, which does make it easier to work in reverse, we'll be sending this guy. This will look a little bit different if it's a two-way, if you're just doing a cargo. Otherwise, if you're doing two different cameras, you'll have the smaller module here. This allows you to do the wireless and the cargo and switch between. So this guy here will all connect right over here, which I'll show you here in a moment. All right, guys, on your video switcher, I just want to go through these connections real quick, just so you know what's what. You're going to have a lead coming off of it labeled "Used to Power Camera." So this is for your third brake light or wireless camera. You can just connect the power and ground for that camera right here. That way you don't have to find it over that way. That's what these leads are for. There's going to be a ground coming off of the switcher labeled to ground. Utilize this eyelet right here. All right. All these guys should come pre-assembled for you. So depending on whether you're doing one or two cameras will depend on the switcher that we send. If it's capped off, leave it. You can add to it later. Otherwise, if it's open, you're going to plug in the video feed from your third brake light camera, which in this case would be camera 1, into here. Aside from that, everything else will be pre-assembled. Do not mess with them. The only thing else you have left to do is mount the switcher, which if you can see in here, right here, I've got it zip tied to the harness here real nicely. And then there's a T-harness that goes to the HMI. So this guy here, well, that one's in there tight, but you're going to unplug the factory T-harness from the HMI, plug my mail in, and then the factory one's going to go right back into its place. The fact that that one's not wanting to come out is actually a good thing. We do that prior to sending it, so we don't have any loose connections. Then you're going to simply tuck your harness down into this way. This gives your glove box plenty of room to go back in without binding. There will be a power wire, which on this particular vehicle I've got coming through here. So if you have the full center console here with the bucket seats, this big junction right here, you can see this purple yellow wire top right. That's your key-on accessory. You can go ahead and tag it on here. Otherwise, if you don't have this in the truck, you're going to have to go over to the BCM, which sits underneath the steering column, green plug, pin 5, purple yellow wire, it will be labeled. Okay. If you're doing a in motion camera, in other words, you want your camera to work in motion, not just in reverse, that does require the use of our camera module as well. So if you're not buying the additional camera module, you're only hooking this up to work in reverse, disregard this step. If you are utilizing the camera module and you purchase the in-motion camera, then you're going to have a lead coming off of it that's going to come over here and plug into the camera module, which I have buried, and it's going to plug into the rear camera input that will be labeled on both ends. And then last but not least, it comes with a toggle switch, so you can switch the between factory camera, tailgate camera, and the third brake light camera. You can see where I've got it mounted right there. Just get this pocket loose. 1/4-inch drill bit, and then 5/16 to secure the nut. And that toggle will pop through real nice. Once this is back on, it's hidden. All you gotta do is reach down and flip it when you're ready to use it. So that's pretty much it. Our 101 on the camera, third brake light camera with video switcher interface. So all that said, we're gonna loosen. There's two 8mm here. So right angle pick, plop them down. Get this right out of your way. That was just a clip to hold that in place, which I'll grab here in a second. Actually, it was the insert, fell down there. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy out too, guys. So get in here, pop this guy, and you got a 7 in here. This one can be a little challenging. That's why I like to have this tape around my, which it needs to have new stuff. But if you wrap this in electrical, you'll then got to wait for this to go in and grip the head of that screw. So let me see if I can go ahead and just get this out without it. Otherwise, that magnet will come into play. Magnet. Pop it right out. Then it's out of your way. Take this and let's go ahead and pull it down, guys. So you're gonna try, I don't know if you can see that or not, but we're gonna go take this guy out as well. I don't know if you can see where I'm at, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop these guys off. Hopefully you can see this. Again, just get your pick, get in here and two 10s here. Put this all the way down. It's going to basically give us room to pull down, run our cable all the way to the front and then down. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this. This guy here, go ahead and pop out. Just pull it back enough to give you some room. You don't have to go through this. I like to. Two 10s. Magnet. That allows this to get out of your way now too. Just enough to kind of run things. So, I've shown you this before. You can get these at the electrical department, Home Depot, Lowe's. Just a 3-foot zip tie, cut the head off. This now allows you a nice little pull fish to kind of go through where your fingers won't pull wires through. So this is going to come in handy just a moment. Pretty good little angle. Jump up on there, in there. Alright. I think I have everything, guys. If not, I apologize. This is a little bit different. T20 back here to get these guys out. carefully set them right up here. And this guy will help you kind of pop it loose. Pull this down. Now we're going to set this aside. Alright, hopefully this is a good angle. Kit comes with 2 gaskets. This one's not really used. Some work trucks makes it too tight, so you can just kind of set this one aside. This one will just pull right off. This is important in the kit. This little U-shaped tool right here does help you adjust the camera. If you're doing the adjustable camera, you'll notice some notches on the outer edge of the camera. It's going to slide in there and allow you to angle it and rotate it and whatnot to get the angle, which we'll do after we fire it up. So to start, let's get your gasket on. Just like that, guys. Okay. Now, these guys, I'll need to grab it real quick. It's labeled parking line. The white you won't worry about. Not sure why they even put them there, but they do. It's the universal camera they use, I suppose. But we're going to strip these back. Otherwise, when you fire this up, you'll have parking lines. If these are left undone, untogether, you'll have additional parking lines when you go into reverse, which if you want those, that's great. If not, we're going to strip them, put these together, tape it, and put them back in this heat shrink. So let me grab some stuff real quick. Go ahead and just strip these back. You want to solder it, you can, you don't need to. Just a little bit of tape to protect it. I'm just going to poke it right back in here. This is heat shrink, guys. And one more for good measure. Go ahead and just clean up here, guys. Get all that dirt off. These guys are not needed on this install going back on. that out. Don't really want to do that. These guys off. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these tabs off. They kind of get in the way for this, so you got some pliers like this, makes things much easier. Nice and clean. Make sure you don't cut your wires, okay? This is where this will come into play here. Tape this here. Since you got your gasket off over there, it's going to allow me, excuse me, pull this right through. So, gasket off. That's where that comes in handy. So, this is tricky. This does have to get underneath here while allowing all this to come back in and plug in. So, it just started. Don't go too crazy. And now we can adjust this guy. It will turn in here once we're all said and done. So for now, I'll come back and tighten this up. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and route our cable to the front. I'm going to go ahead and grab the wireless camera setup as well so I can show you that. So the thing I'm going to point out real quick here, guys, this connection right here can be a tight one. You're going to want to make sure this seats all the way. See those two little arrows line up? Make sure it's seated all the way in there, and then take some tape and tape this before you go and secure it down. Basically, we're going to route this along this way, along our harnessing in here, down, and then right through there. So come back and show you that in a second.